Hey everybody, welcome to the webinar. My name is Richard Paul, and I'm going to try to fly through this as quick as possible. In today's video, what we're going to cover is starting your own networking group and how we're actually going to help you start that networking group and grow it all for you. So this video is really designed for really any type of small business owners, whether you're an insurance agent, a financial planner, loan officer, realtor, CPA, attorney, contractor, doctor, really doesn't matter. If you want to have the authority or be the authority in your networking group, get more referrals, and make some more money, that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so just a little bit about us. We were founded back in 2010, really with a mission to help small and medium-sized businesses grow their business on referrals. We all know that that's the best way to grow a business, and there's a lot of companies out there that really don't train on it. A lot of businesses don't have access to like, how do I actually do this? So that's why we started not only our networking groups, but we also have other programs that help businesses just grow and referrals. Currently, we have about 40 chapters with about 900 plus members across the US. And we're really looking to expand and take that over 100 chapters by about June and about 250 chapters by the end of 2023. A couple things as far as why we want to start our own networking group. We've all been to networking groups, and we all know that the main person that's hosting this networking group is the person that gets the most referrals, right? And in today's world, growing our business on referrals, we all know, doesn't matter what we do, the referral is the best source for new clients, because we know that more than likely, whether it's a referral from a current client or a referral from another professional, we probably are going to do business with that person. And so a couple of reasons why we want to start a networking group are just those things. If we're the authority, we're the person that's heading up the networking group, we're that main center of influence, we're going to get more referrals. And then lastly, the cool thing about starting your own networking group is you can make more residual money. Anywhere, our average group makes about anywhere from $700 to about $2,000, $1,700 a month per group. We have some people that host one group. We have some people that host 3 or 4 groups. Totally up to you, and we'll talk about that as we go through. Now, if you've ever been to a typical networking group, there's a few challenges to it, right? A lot of times, one of the biggest challenges is just going to the group. A lot of them are like 7 o'clock in the morning for breakfast. And, there's just things in everybody's life that comes up. And sometimes we just can't make breakfast, right? They're only on Zoom, or sometimes they're only in person. And so that's really a challenge, because sometimes, like Zoom, it has its advantages, because if we can't make the breakfast, we can obviously jump on Zoom a lot easier because we don't really have to leave our house, or we could do it while we're driving. But the downfall to it also is that you don't get that one-on-one interaction a lot of times, where you can actually press the flesh or really shake somebody's hands. Another challenge is a lot of times when we're getting a networking group off to a start, or maybe you got invited from a friend, which is typically the way they grow these groups. There's only 5 or 10 people. And really, in order to make this work, we need to be closer to about a 20 to 30, 35 person group in order to have a big enough group for everybody where everybody's getting referrals. And those are some of the challenges that we're actually going to solve as we go through this today. Another big area, and this is probably one of the main areas that we focus in on, number 4, is they don't leverage social media. Unless you live under a rock, you know the power of social media. We've all heard the stories of people, and not only people, just kids, making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, utilizing social media. And so for us, when we started this project, we were really like, well, what are the challenges with some of these networking groups, and how come none of them use social media? It seems like they're all kind of, stuck in the Stone Age, where they don't leverage the power of the internet. So we're going to talk about that pretty heavily as we go through this. No training. That's one of the other big things, is a lot of people come to these networking groups. Maybe we're not the best salesperson. We really don't know how to, explain exactly what we do or who the best clients are. And so we just show up and say, well, hi, I'm an insurance agent, or hi, I'm a contractor. And that's really about it. And we really don't get into the specifics. And that's one of the things that we try and solve, is give you as the host and as a member tools on how we can properly convey our business. And then the biggest one that most people really hate are monthly quotas, right? You show up to these groups, you pay to be part of them, you show up to breakfast or, to Zoom. And then if you don't give 2 referrals by the end of the month, they're like, hey, we're going to give you another month. If you don't give us some referrals, then we're going to go, we're going to boot you out. And it's like, well, man, that's not really fair. I've been showing up and doing my part. I just didn't seem to talk to somebody about they need a plumbing project in the last, week or month or even year. So these are some of the things that we're going to talk about and solve as we go through this today. Okay, so a few reasons about why we're different. The very first reason, and the biggest reason out of all the reasons you see on the screen, is we build the group for you. It's one of the biggest challenges that we, after all the polls that we took from tons of different members and huge databases, is that most of these groups will stagnate at about 8, 10, 12, maybe 15 people, and then start working backwards until it actually dissolves. So we're actually going to go out, and I'll show you how we do that in just a second, but we're going to build this group for you. Obviously, we do encourage all the group members to invite other members as well and invite guests, but we're going to build that initial group for you. Second thing, we leverage social media. We pulled all the groups out there that we could find, and nobody leverages social media. And the crazy thing is, most of us spend hours and hours a day on social media. So why are we leaving our networking group back in the Stone Age and not putting it into today's present tense and actually leveraging that piece? The next piece, we blend Zoom and in-person meetings. So we don't just do in-person, we don't just do Zoom, we blend both of them. And then the very last thing is we don't have any quotas. We're leveraging social media so that way members that don't have the opportunity to always refer can actually still be part of the group. So how are we actually going to build this group? So the way we're going to build this group is we're actually going to leverage social media again by using Facebook groups that are local to your area. If you go into your Facebook right now, go up to the very top in the search bar, type in your city, and then go to groups. There's tons of different groups out there, networking groups, chit chat groups, all sorts of different groups. And so we're actually going to post inviting members into that group. Now, once we get to about 20 people or so, and which is kind of a wide net, we need to start looking at who actively needs to be in this group. So if we don't have a CPA or we don't have an attorney, we don't have a contractor, we're going to actually utilize direct messaging on Facebook and LinkedIn to actually invite those members in. So it doesn't matter who it is, we're going to keep that group to about 25 to 35 members, which is about a sweet spot for most groups because it makes the group big enough so everybody benefits, but it also makes the group small enough to where everybody gets to share every week. And it takes us about 30 to 60 days to get to that 20 to 30 members mark. So the cool thing is when we start inviting people, when we kick everything off, we're going to get that group kicking really, really quickly. Now, the next piece is why we're different is as far as social media, nobody leverages social media. We've pulled tons and tons of groups, looked at tons of different networking companies, and nobody leverages it. So one of the ways that we're going to do that is we're actually going to do 2 weekly spotlights. And this is something that you as a host are responsible for. We're going to go ahead and give you the script, but it's basically like a one-on-one interview for about 5 to 7 minutes where we're going to interview and have those members talk about their business. And then we're going to take that recording and we're actually going to push it out on everybody's social media accounts, which is super powerful because if you really think about it, if you take 25 to 30 people in a group and then you put it out on all their social media, which an average person on social media has about 1,000 people, that's 25 to 30,000 eyeballs that these members get access to that they didn't before. So super, super powerful as far as that. And the very last thing, no quotas. So we're leveraging social media. So not only can we can get referrals in, but you're not going to be kicked out of the group because you don't put a referral in. We're going to leverage your social media profiles as well to where all the other group members can get organic leads coming in. Instead of just referrals. So how does this work? So we're going to give you the whole entire thing. We're going to give you all the templates, all the training, the meeting structure, slideshows, breakout session trainings, how to use Zoom if you don't use it already, which almost everybody does, elevator pitches, the whole 9 yards. So that way you don't got to come up with anything. This is just plug and play. As far as your commitment, so as a host, you need to do the weekly meeting, weekly or bi-weekly. It is kind of up to you. And it's going to be about 60 to 90-minute commitment. And then we're going to need to do 2 member spotlights each week. And you're only going to need to do a spotlight with each member about once a year. We'll just go ahead and kind of recycle it and put it out on social media every quarter. And so up front, you're going to have a little bit more time commitment, but once we get past the 90-day mark, it actually drops to about 90 minutes to 2 hours total. Then we're also going to have you post some of those things in different groups, and then you're going to take care of member enrollment. We take care of everything else. So we're going to build the group. We're going to take care of all the back end stuff to where all you really need to do, show up to the meetings, host the meetings, do a spotlight here or there, and then post it out on social media. Now, here's where the income opportunity comes in. No matter what networking group that you go to be a part of, you got to pay some sort of membership fee. So our membership fee is $300 for an application fee, then $75 a month. And there's a whole bunch of more benefits that we didn't go over, at least in this slideshow, of why we can justify that $75 a month price point. And for a lot of members, they're part of different groups also. So $75 is actually not too bad. So if you look on the screen here, you can see how much money we would actually bring in depending on how big your group is. An average group is between 25 and 35 members. So if you look at that, and we're bringing that money in, we want to share that commission structure with you to where you're actually being incentivized to not only grow the group or help grow the group, but also host it. So really, it just comes down to how much you want. We have commission splits from 0 all the way up to 50%. So that way you can share in those membership fees. And if you look on here, if you're in a position right now where an investment just isn't an option, you can come in. It's a free membership. All you do is host, but we don't actually pay you. If you wanted to invest a little bit, make 33%, which is about $25 a month per member, you'd be looking at about a $14.95 investment. And if you wanted to make half of all those membership fees, then you'd be looking at an investment of $29.95. We can't really go above that because of the amount of work that we do on the back end supporting the grouping and helping grow the group. So we don't ever go up really above that 50% mark. But either way, no matter where you start, your membership fees long-term are waived. So you're 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't have to worry about any membership fees. And if you made an investment, you're actually going to make some money. So if you have any questions, go ahead and book a call, or if you haven't already booked a call, and we will answer any questions that you might have. Talk to you soon.